Reed Sheppard. This was a highly requested video. For those of y'all that want me to break down anyone else, whether it's a high school player, college player, NBA player, WNBA player, write in the comments right now who you want me to break down, because this was a highly requested video. Because Reed, you are somebody who, I talk about it inside of the scouting report, you're an enigma. When people look at you and they look at your pedigree, your dad was a national champion at Kentucky, your mom played at Kentucky.
Reed's mom said repeatedly, quote, "You can't be soft."
You come from a basketball family. You were raised in Kentucky. Me being from Indiana. Indiana and Kentucky are neighbors. We have the Indiana-Kentucky All-Star game where our best high school players play the best Kentucky All-Star players. And we know how y'all get down in Kentucky because y'all are still the only state in the 48 states of the United States Commonwealth, whatever it's called, continental, whatever it is. Well, you know what? You can throw Hawaii and Alaska in there too. Y'all are the only state that still has one class basketball in high school. That means you still have one state champion. And you were someone who is a folk hero. Me being from Indiana and understanding the folk heroes like Larry Bird, Steve Alford, Damon Bailey, Romeo Langford. I know what that means to be the folk hero from your home state. And then you went on and went to the flagship school, University of Kentucky, and played for John Calipari. And y'all didn't have a very good year. Y'all got popped in the first round of the NCAA tournament. He had you and Rob Dillingham coming off the bench, even though all year y'all projected to be top 10s, in some cases even top 5 picks. And if you look at y'all's NBA seasons, your rookie seasons as they start off right now, you and Rob Dillingham are the ones in the top 10 who are getting the least amount of minutes. Why is this? Because you got to be very careful in the situations that you get drafted to. You had no control over it, but you went to the Houston Rockets. They got Fred VanVleet, who's making $40 million this year.
You need to be picking up full court. You got to be a problem on defense, and then you got to be able to shoot the three.
They drafted Amen Thompson with a top 5 pick last year, and he's been a point guard his entire life. They got Jalen Green, who they assigned to $150 million, and he's bet on himself to get nearly a supermax contract when this one goes out. So there's a log jam at the guard position. 3 positions are already taken. So how are you going to be able to carve out any time and any reps for yourself? So that's a very tough situation for you, Reed. But like I said, going back to the enigma, you shot 53% from 3 in college in the SEC. In this 3-heavy league, where Anthony Edwards right now is leading the league in almost 13 3-point attempts a night, you shot 53% in college. Ime Udoka, you gonna sit here and tell me there's no place for Reed in the rotation right now? But these are things that rookies got to go through. So what I had to do is I had to really break down your tape. I watched you at Kentucky. I watched you at Summer League. And I put together an edit that kind of gives everyone, including the Houston Rockets organization, an idea of the talent that you possess. But I'll also give you a lot of nuggets on what you can do to get better, so that way you can take some minutes from Fred VanVleet, from Amen Thompson, from Jalen Green, because I'm still a believer, Reed. Everybody else might not be. They might be running, but I'm still a believer. I think you were worth the top 3 pick selection. I think as weak as this draft was, I wouldn't have been mad if somebody took you number 1. But you got to earn your time. You got to earn your reps. If you pay attention to everything I'm saying in this video, I promise you, by the end of the season, you're going to be getting some serious burn for the Houston Rockets franchise. Here we go.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond. My name is Dorian from Group82University.com, and right here we got Reed Sheppard showing how he is a shot relocation master. Justin Edwards gets 2 feet in the paint, and what Reed Sheppard does is he follows the trail that Justin Edwards has already blazed. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. The defense is attracted to the ball. He flips it back to DeJuan Wagner. DeJuan, you got to pull that. That's why you're still in college and Reed's in the NBA. DeJuan dribbles right into a double team where there's no spacing. Justin Edwards is clogging everything up. What does Reed Sheppard do? Reed, you go and you relocate to the open area of the floor like Travis Kelce does with Patrick Mahomes getting to the open area of the field. Being able to create space for your shot off the ball is a skill that not every hooper has, and you do a phenomenal job of that, Reed. I love right here that Kentucky y'all run is floppy action. Floppy action is when the shooter's head's up under the basket and he can pick whichever down screen he wants to come off of. I think a lot more NBA teams should run this. This guy decides to go towards the weak side, you pass it to him, and he's about to turn and immediately come downhill into the teeth of the defense, which is exactly what you would want him to do. This creates a dribble handoff situation. You relocate to the open end of the floor, bang. Reed, you are an amazing three-point shooter. Shooting above 52% in the SEC is ridiculous. And this is where I'm having a personal conundrum with how Ime Udoka is using you, because the shots you're making right here, you can make in an NBA game, but with Fred VanVleet making $40 million, I don't know if you're really gonna get a chance this year. This is why getting drafted to the right situation is important, because it literally can make or break your career. One thing I noticed when I was scouting your college tape is that you put your hand, your guide hand, on top of the ball. You've been struggling shooting a little bit early on this NBA season. That might need to be an adjustment that you made. Anthony Edwards did the exact same thing when he was in high school, and he made the adjustment. If you look at his guide hand now, it literally is just holding the ball up there while the right side of his shooting chain does on the work. It's almost like he has sandpaper, some sort of circular device in his hand to make sure it doesn't go over. You might want to make that adjustment too when you're getting your shots up in the gym in Houston, because you're too good of a shooter not to be getting on the floor. I mean, catch and shoot, you are absolutely phenomenal. There isn't a team in the NBA you can't help right now with your catch and shooting ability. Something you do struggle with, though, is pulling up in transition in front of defenders. You don't have the separation skills at this point, so get better at that. In the meantime, while you're working on that, I love the fact that you know how to manipulate ball screens. We're really going to break down your ball screen offense a little bit later, but right here, this is just such a phenomenal example of you being able to manipulate the defense and put them where you want to use the ball screens to get an open shot. Right here, my homeboy Orlando Robinson sets a great screen for you. You're looking at that backside defender, and you want to get to that pinch post elbow area for the jump shot, but dude meets you there. You come back and you reset, and you give it off to O, and you get in a dribble handoff situation. O, being the great ball handler he is for his size, gets a 1.5 feet in the paint, and all the defense is looking at him. This allows you to get a legit handoff situation where, right where you were trying to go initially, and O sets a great step-up screen. Your pull-up jumper game is TJ McConnell-esque. Your catch-and-shoot game is Klay Thompson-esque. Build on these skills. Reed, one thing I think that's hurting you right now, and this is of no fault of your own, but this is really on the Houston Rockets coaching staff, is that you're an enigma. Guys that are built like you, that can shoot like you, they don't have the defensive ability that you usually have. And with the fact that you can play both sides of the ball and your hands are extremely quick, is putting a lot of pressure on the starting point guard of Fred VanVleet, and that's tough for an organization to deal with. Just look at this play right here. How many guys your size can make this defensive play right here? How many guys your size can be at the nail and look out the side of their eyes so they're not going to get beat back door or give up a wide open corner three? Not many guys can do that. Once the ball is pitched to that corner, you are about 8 to 10 feet away from this shooter, and look at how much distance that you cover. Look at your athleticism. You jump so high, you're swatting down. You're knocking it down. Dudes your size usually can't do that. Not only are you an athlete, you're scrappy and you're smart. You fight over screens. Doesn't matter if you get switched on the big. You get around and you front the big. You take away what they think is a mismatch immediately and switch back to your man. Your eye is on the ball the entire time. You're in help defense. You get beat back door, but you recover for a block. You did everything great there, but get beat back door. And that is a problem with you that I've seen you do often. Here's a situation where you get beat backdoor early and it puts you at a disadvantage the entire defensive possession. This guy's gonna beat you backdoor and they're gonna set a screen that's gonna make him pop out to the opposite break area. When he catches this, he has a wide open jump shot, but because he's not an NBA player, he doesn't get it up. In the league, that is automatic. So I don't care what your recovery is, that's gonna be a guy 6'4", 6'5" that's shooting over you or shot fake, sidestep, dribble. You are able to contain it. He loses his dribble and you got him in the coffin corner. But what do? You let him get out and get to the basket. You should have made him turn up court and get the ball back up to half court. He slides past you, they get a wide open three. And the reason for a coach this is so infuriating is because you have elite defensive hands when you're locked in, which can lead to points. Look at this situation right here. It's a secondary break. You predict that pass. You're able to get it, and you're such a great finisher in transition. Here you are getting beat. You tap it from behind, and you're able to get an easy two-flush finish that gets the crowd into this conference opponent game versus Alabama. You have great hands. You're able to turn defense into offense, which not a lot of guys in the NBA can do. You need to lean on that when you get your reps this year. This play right here proves that what you did in college will also work in the NBA. Here you are against elite competition in the NBA Summer League because it's the first quarter, the stars are in, and there's a turnover. You are behind the ball and three offensive players. They got a 2-on-1 situation, 2-on-0 at this point, but look at Marcus Sasser's eyes. He ain't looking to finish, he's looking to pass. You can tell by his foot as well, he lifted up to his butt to get some breaks. You get your hand in there and you cause a turnover. Here's another transition situation off an empty possession, and you're able to get your hands in there on your former Kentucky teammate, Rob Dillingham. This is something that you're elite at. You guys can have empty possessions on one end, and you can get the ball back or even put points on the board. Always get your hands in there. Your ball screen defense needs a lot of work, and I don't think this is a you problem. I think this is a Kentucky problem, because in my Rob Dillingham scouting report, he had the exact same issue. Y'all are horrible at ball screen defense. Here you are getting ball screen, and there's the roll guy. You're already behind him. When you're behind him, you got to be thinking about, what can I do to help my team? I do not want to foul. So what is the most viable option in this situation? Same thing I told Rob Dillingham, rear view contest. This is something you have to learn how to do as an NBA guard. When you get hit on a ball screen, you get put in jail, you get put in a hostage situation, you got to be able to rear view contest. What do? You do the same thing Rob Dillingham did. Try to jump in front to contest from the front. Why? All that's going to do is get you in the air, and elite NBA scorers are going to go to the free throw line on and ones doing this. Kobe made a living doing that. LeBron does it like crazy now. Michael also did the same thing. Don't get caught up in that. Learn how to rear view contest. To be a league guard in the NBA, you have to know how to manipulate and maneuver around ball screens. Here we are in, a semi-transition situation. Let's just say secondary break situation. You get a double draft from Cam Whitmore and my boy Orlando. Orlando comes back around and sets a twist screen for you, and you operate and get to the open area of the floor. When you do that, you do a great job of analyzing number 2 pick Alex Sarr right there and getting him to stand up and lock his leg. You have this defender behind you, and you put him in a semi-hostage situation. Why is it semi-hostage? Because you already found your spot and you want to pull up. Most guys your size are going to wait for the screen and re-screen to try to get an open three. You don't do that. You get this screen on my homeboy Keyshawn George, and you see the opening right in the middle of the floor, and you split and you go down there. But what I'm most impressed with is this floater over a 7-footer. Your quick shot making ability off of ball screens is phenomenal. It doesn't matter if it's from the mid-range, or if it's a drag screen from 3, or if it's somebody going under and you're shooting from damn near the logo. I mean, the fact that you could score so fast off of ball screens is phenomenal. I think the next step for you is to be a great playmaker off of ball screens. You have shown the ability to do that, but at times when you get sped up, you miss the open guy, which can lead to some very, very silly turnovers, which is probably why you're riding the bench right now in Houston. A lot of what committing silly turnovers on ball screens is just knowing your personnel. KYP, You have to know what positions your guys can make plays in and what positions that they can't. Here you are, you get this ball screen and you don't even let the play develop because before you are already trying to pass it to your big who's rolling to the middle of the paint. He gets caught in the middle of the paint when he's catching the ball with 3 defenders on him, and a guy in the red is literally ready to take a charge. He can make that pass to the corner, to the wing, but it's not there, right? But here you are right here. You learn from that and you see, hey, I got to get him the ball in a position that he can score. You do that, you'll cut down on a lot of those ball screen turnovers. You know, being able to navigate these ball screens, whether it's drags, whether it's, you know, a high ball screen, whether it's twist, whether it's Spain, you have to be able to make smart decisions and not just throw the ball away like a rookie quarterback, because you will get benched. Here we are again, you're getting a ball screen on that right wing with my homeboy Jalen Clark guarding you. You lose your dribble a little bit, but then you reset. You want to go left, but Jalen Clark is going to meet you there, while simultaneously you see this dude who's at the top of the key. He's already in the second line of defense like a linebacker. You should have passed that over to number 41, but you didn't. You get the screen this time, and now you pick your dribble up before you even have read the floor. You're leaning on one leg, you got 2 defenders jumping at you, and you try to make this wild pass. As the season progressed at Kentucky, I saw your ball screen reads getting a lot better. Here you are, you have a play where you're supposed to get a ball screen. Trey Mitchell sets a great screen for Rob Dillingham. He's supposed to pop out for the wide open 3. Rob doesn't do that, so that throws off your read, and you miss Trey Mitchell, who is wide open under the basket. But this time, instead of forcing the pass, you reset. You let the play develop. You let the shot clock work for you. Now your 5-man, number 44, rolls down the same trail that Trey Mitchell has already blazed for him, and you ain't gonna miss it this time, and you throw a great lob to him. Being a young lead guard, the toughest thing to get from a coaching staff is their trust in your decision making. You are eventually going to get that because you are an exceptionally smart basketball player. I love that when you are in scoring mode, you make very quick decisions, right? And when you start getting your ball screen decision making at a high level, that's going to really open up your scoring, because that is a strength in your game. You have no problem driving down the paint and finishing amongst the trees, while a bunch of guys your size in the NBA, they shy away from that. Just like as the season progressed at Kentucky, you got a lot more confident in your decision making. I think the same thing is going to happen to you in the NBA. I think this play shows how you progress from the beginning of your freshman year. Here you are in a 2-on-2 situation. Rob Dillingham needs to space the floor some more, but he doesn't. So what do? You decide to drive right. Now, you pick your dribble up. How many guys in this situation would try to go through that defender and draw a foul and force a horrible contested 2? A lot. You don't do that. You bring the ball back out and you reset and you hit DJ Wagner, who gets it on a stampede catch, and that exact same lane, that exact same trail that you just blazed, he comes right through there. He hits my homeboy Trey Mitchell for an and 1. When you get in the game, don't be in a rush, because that's when you're at your best. When you're the maestro on the floor and you are able to manipulate the defense in whatever you want them to do. I think this play right here exhibits that better than anything else you did at Summer League this year. You're going to get this twist action from my guy, Orlando Robinson. You're going to come off left. He's going to get another read screen for you on that backside. You're playing at multiple paces. You're slowing down. You're giving the defense a chance to react. You're giving the offense a chance to develop the play. Here you are getting to your spot where you've been pulling up for jumpers the entire summer league, triple teamed, and what do? Shot fake, and you hit O for a very easy dunk. Here you are running the same actions with O, and this time you hit the lift guy for a wide open 3. That was an exceptional read. You are exceptional at reading everything on the basketball court, because you are an exceptional genius level basketball player. But these mistakes that you're making, every young guard makes, and you have guys in front of you who can take your minutes. You need to stop making these spectacular turnovers where the ball's flying all over the place and just start making the easy passes the defense is giving you. If not, you have the ability to score on your own to start doing that. And I promise you start doing that, you're going to be the leader of the Houston Rockets franchise. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.
I'm in Tennessee. Easter Sunday, gotta call my uncle's card and hit a wall. I didn't believe it. I still had sleep and crust on my eyes was still on. My cousin Nick said play that.